Welcome everyone to another episode of Follow the Light Music Review. My name is John DeLaurentis, and this is episode 5 of Album Reviews. And today we're going to be looking at an incredible new release from 2025, Cosmic Cathedral, the new supergroup Deep Water album that just came out on April 25th, 2025, brand new release. And I'm going to give a thorough and detailed review of this album in this episode. But before we get into it, I would really encourage you to subscribe to the channel, like the video. Please add your comments to the YouTube video. I'd like to hear what your thoughts of this album. If you've gotten a chance to get it and listen to it, I'd love to hear your feedback as well. And you can also ring the bell for notifications so you can stay up to date with all the content being posted on the channel. All right, so let's dive into this album. We're going to be talking about Cosmic Cathedral, Deep Water, and this is the new supergroup. Prog rock music, of course, so I was extremely excited not only for another prog rock album to be released, but also my favorite Christian artist of all time, Phil Keaggy, is also a part of this. So let's get a look at the inside of this. It opens up like this. This is a digipack, and it opens up. I'll show it to you a little bit at a time. On this side here, we have Chester Thompson, the drummer, Byron House, the bass player. Over here, we got Phil Keaggy and Neal Morse. Okay, and nice little CD. You take it out here. Has a nice picture of the deep water, what the album is called. And then it opens up, or it has a flap on the side, I should say, in the digipack here with a nice booklet inside. Has all the lyrics inside here for all of these songs. And it also features, after all these lyrics here, another page of lyrics. It has a nice group photo and some of the other people involved in the sessions. Some credits here. And another good group photo on the back here. Also came, I always save these little hype stickers here. I cut them out and put them inside the booklet. And this says Limited CD Digipack, the union of Neal Morse, Transatlantic, Chester Thompson, Genesis, Phil Keaggy, Glass Harp, and Byron House, includes the 38-minute epic Deep Water Suite, which we're going to be talking about that there. So that's the album. So let's talk about, again, the musicians and what they play on here. Again, this is a super group here. We have Neal Morse on keyboards, guitars, and vocals, and of course he's a prog rock legend, Neal Morse. If you know the music of Neal Morse, I can tell you right now, you're gonna like this. You're gonna like this. If you're a fan of Neal Morse and his many different works as a solo artist or with his bands, you're gonna love this. Again, Neal Morse played with bands like Spock's Beard, Transatlantic, Morse, Portney and George, Flying Colors, the Neal Morse Band, and others, as well as solo albums that he's put out as well. Phil Keaggy, guitars and vocals, legendary artist from Glass Harp, and as a solo artist, he's had a over 50-year career with his music. Again, my favorite artist of all time. Chester Thompson is on here, drums and percussion. He's a world-class session drummer. He's played with the prog rock group Genesis, played with Air Pocket, Caldera, Santana, Weather Report, Phil Collins, Steve Hackett, Frank Zappa, and so many others. Thompson, interesting little trivia here. Thompson met his wife during his time playing The Wiz in 1976, and he became a Christian in 1980, and later became an elder in the Nashville church on the way. Byron House, plays bass and fretless bass on here. He's a Grammy-nominated session player, has played with hundreds of different artists from Al Green, Amy Grant, Dolly Parton, Johnny Cash, Ricky Skaggs, Vince Gill, so many others. And in 2010 and 11, he recorded and toured with Robert Plant, yes, Robert Plant of Led Zeppelin fame, as a member of Robert Plant's Band of Joy. And since 2021, he has toured and recorded with singer-songwriter Sandra McCracken. All right, so this is the musicians that are on this album, an absolute stunning collection of musicians. And we're going to talk about how they mesh together on the album when we get into the different songs specifically. Additional musicians that are here as well: Chris Carmichael offers some strings in here, Phil Martin, additional percussion, Harmony Hall, Serena Joy Crow, and Kylie Phillips, background vocals, and then Mark Leninger adds sax on the song Time to Fly. All right, so let's take a deep dive into the songs on this album. The album opens up with a track called The Heart of Life, and this is an over 13-minute opening epic on the album. It opens with some Emerson, Lake and Palmer sounding keyboard flourishes from Neal Morse, credible drumming from Chester Thompson, strong bass backbone from Byron House. The melody is infectious. It sounds like a majestic fanfare. Then at the 2-minute mark, Byron plays this funky bass line as Keaggy starts dancing up and down the fretwork. And this is no other way to describe this but high-octane prog rock music. And then around the 3.5-minute mark, the vocals kick in, Neal's soothing voice caressing the melody line, followed by Phil harmonizing with him, lifting you up to heaven as they sing. And this is a quote from the lyrics. And if only for a moment I could stand in your light, in the moment was forever, breaking out of the sky, and forever is the reason, and the reason is the heart of life. This section has some Supertramp sounding parts in it. Then around the 6.5-minute mark, there's some explosive guitar chording from Keaggy. Enters in with another incredible walk up and down the fretboard, as followed by some frenetic drumming by Chester as a whirlwind of keys surround you before the vocals return. The song ends with a return to the main melody line, as it is kind of ends almost like, I almost feel like a Yes type softer outro. If you can think of Yes in the Close to the Edge album, you know, it just kind of reminded me in some of the softer parts of that epic by Yes, how they end this song. And this is a song that was written by Neal Morse, this opening track. Then we get into 2 shorter tracks on the album. Time to Fly is the next song, almost 7 minutes long. This is a little bit of a detour. This is a funky, breezy jazz prog rock song that's kind of in the vein of Steely Dan, with some moogie keyboard lines, and as the guitars bolster the melody line here, Keaggy shining throughout this on here, showing what a master of the guitar that he is. There's also some awesome harmonies here between Phil and Neal that I would, thinking how beautiful these harmonies are, I was brought to mind Crosby, Stills, Nash, and their beautiful harmonizing. That beautiful harmony is here in this song here. And they're singing here about the entrance to heaven after our earthly life is over. So it's time to fly. There's some nice sax that's played in here. It complements the song as Phil adds some nice guitar fills in here. And the outro features some nice soloing from Phil. And this one was written by the whole band with lyrics by Neal Morse. The next track, I Won't Make It, is where the album kind of slows down into a ballad territory. This is the shortest song on the album, just under 4 minutes. And it's basically a keyboard ballad that has a heart-wrenching vocal by Neal, who's singing about his need for God's grace to make it through life. Some strings are added in here to sweeten the soundscape. And this one is written by Neal Morse. And then Walking in Daylight. Now, this is an almost 9-minute song. This is where Phil gets a chance to shine on lead vocals on here, not just harmonizing with Neal. It opens up like a symphonic Kansas song. Then it leads into this boisterous keyboard melody line that you'll have echoing your head after you listen to it. Sometimes I'm walking around the house and that line, dun, 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 you have to listen to it. I'm probably not doing it justice by doing it that way, but you got to hear it. You'll have it stuck in your head. Harmonies here are beautiful again. Phil layers some nice guitar fills here between the verses, while Neal adds some sweeping and jazzy piano lines. And then around the 3-minute mark, Phil adds some rollicking staccato and jazzy guitar parts that you just got to hear. Just incredible, beautiful guitar fills there. And then around the 4.5-minute mark, or around the 4-minute mark rather, Byron lays down this spectacular bass line as some atmospheric guitar is layered in. This leads up to this melodious guitar lead with Phil showing his mastery of the guitar once again. Then there's that main boisterous keyboard melody that returns with the vocals, like I told you about. You're going to have it stuck in your head, returns back there. Then the song finishes with Neal playing some jazzy keyboards as Phil layers a nice melody line over it. This one, the music was written by Chester Thompson, Byron House, and Neal Morse, with some lyrics written by Phil Keaggy and Neal Morse. All right, then we get into the album's centerpiece, the Deepwater Suite, a 38-minute prog rock epic in 9 different parts. Opens up with what's called the introduction. It opens up with this vocoder sound and some Kansas-sounding prog rock. Shows off some fantastic symmetry between the 4 musicians. When you hear it, you're going to be blown away. This is pure joyride. It's a pure musical joyride of musical interplay, even adding in some Deep Purple keyboard blasts to get some shades of John Lord in there in this song. Then it has Launch Out Part 1. Okay, this begins one of the main melody lines in here that returns later on for Part 2 and 3. There's some vocals here from Phil and Neal, alternating between some heavy chordage and melody lines here. Some nice vocals from the 2 of them, and just incredible harmonies. Once again, some great harmonies here. That leads into the next part, River of the Sunrise. This features some nice acoustic guitar as Neal sings with passion and is joined by Phil for some nice harmonizing. Then Storm Service. The next part is an instrumental that is frenetic and hard rocking. Phil plays some more fireworks on his guitar on that instrumental. Then moves to Storm Surface, or I'm sorry, I said that one already. Nightmare in Paradise is the next one, and that has a strong bass line. It's laid down with a nice piano melody as Neal kind of sings the verses here before the sweeping chorus charges in with these heavenly harmonies. And then some more Kansas-sounding prog rock enters in and swoops you back into the chorus here. And what's interesting here is, as I was listening to this and hearing Neal Morse do this talk singing, I was immediately brought back to Doug Bauer's talk singing on Echo Versus 30-minute epic on their Whispers Between Worlds. It just said, oh, it's that same type of thing there. Then Launch Out Part 2 comes back in. After that, New Revelation is the next part. Another spectacular display of the talents of the 4 musicians and how well they mesh together. They just gel beautifully together. These are top-notch musicians. The incredible musicianship. Stunning vocals. The music in that song in that part of the song is fast-paced and propulsive. Then Launch Out Part 3 comes in, and then the album, this Deepwater Suite closes with The Door to Heaven. And this kind of opens up with this flute-sounding keyboard and some nice guitar melody line in it. The vocals are sung with a lot of incredible emotion. Neal singing here, I sing for Jesus. It was for me he died. He unlocked the door to heaven. Now we can have heaven's love inside. This has some nice Genesis-sounding keyboard melody lines that lift up the symphonic heavenly landscape of musical joy that this is. And it ends with this return to this Launch Out vocoder intro that you heard. And it has almost like this Utopia, Todd Rundgren's Utopia, proggy keyboards here that kind of end there. So that ends an incredible 71-minute journey incredible. And like I said, lots of different prog influences, like I mentioned, are throughout the entire album, but yet using those influences, but carving out their own unique sound, the sound that is still very much Neal Morse. If you know the music of Neal Morse from those previous bands he's been in, his solo work in here, very much this sounds like that Neal Morse on here. But just an incredible album. Definitely on my list for one of the best releases of 2025 so far. And this just came out, like I said, not that long ago, April 25th. And this is May 3rd that I'm recording this here. So just incredible. So if you are a prog rock fan, if you are a Neal Morse fan, if you're a Phil Keaggy fan, you're going to absolutely love this. Now, I do want to say, before I give you my album ranking, this is an album, like all prog rock albums, you need to listen to several times to get all the layers. Prog rock music is very complex, and it's not the type of music you just listen to once and then make a decision on it. So I've listened to some of the other reviewers give their ratings for it, and one rated it 4 out of 5 stars, another rated it 8.5 out of 10. I'm going to give this 5 stars. And I'm going to tell you that when I was listening to it, maybe the second time, third time, I said 4 stars out of 5. But I've listened to it several times, and just like typical prog rock, the beauty of it, the majesty of it, the incredible musicianship of it just kept getting better and better and better and blowing me away. So without a doubt, I'm giving this one 5 stars out of 5. Incredible album, Cosmic Cathedral. If you haven't ordered it yet, I would say, and you're a prog rock fan or fans, like I said, of Neal Morse, Phil Keaggy, don't hesitate. This album is going to be spending a lot of time spinning, either in your CD player or if you get the vinyl version on your turntable. And the vinyl version, of course, is because of vinyl restrictions, the 38-minute epic is going to be split between sides in there. But it is in 9 parts, so I'm sure they have it split in the way it needs to be. So again, enjoy this album, and again, soak it in. This is one of those albums that is going to blow you away this year. And so I highly recommend it. And again, 5 stars out of 5 stars. So I hope you enjoyed that album review. And as always, I want to encourage you to follow the light that shines out of the darkness. God bless everyone.